Our relationship with Ron Fricke started basically with the ACLU campaign, so the idea of a film was born then. How we wanted to do that is that was the hard part. It took 7 years to make Koyaanisqatsi. One, we didn't have all the money, but we didn't know how much we were asking for. We didn't know what length the film would be. We didn't know where it would be seen. All of that started to sort out. My own thought was in the beginning that we had to have, if it was going to be nonverbal, maybe it had to be more explicit. So we had spent I don't know how much, but a lot of money using 35 millimeter for the first time, that and four corners, and then the setups. We had people in our collective who were artists who could literally make anything. We did a shot of a Greek temple. Instead of having a god or a goddess present, a figure of a human being standing on a pedestal, we had a big light socket, and it was about 8 feet high. It glistened, it had glisten on it, was painted gold, and we had an enormous light plug that about 100 people with a big rubber end were pulling the light thing out. Now, what I want to say was the action was beyond corny in retrospect. The set was to die for because you felt you were in Greece in a temple. It was that clear. George Tuca is one of my favorite painters. He did one called the Tuca boxes, or what we call the Tuca boxes, all these people in little squares. Kind of, here they are in this square area. They're all kind of huddled down in white garbs, looking at, like zoned out. We were able to make a big box under Ron Fricke's direction, photographically, with mirrors all around it, with the set inside. Ron figured exactly where to put the camera so it couldn't be seen off-center from the glass. And we put a zillion people in there sitting in Tuca boxes. We had another one of corporations. We went to the old state capitol. They had a magnificent, let's say, meeting room where, say, a king and queen could meet. And we put, 10 dummies around with TV heads all talking to each other, and, but they all had TV heads. So it's those kind of things. Now, that they were beyond belief well done, let's say. They were beyond belief corny. We were talking about electricity. We were talking about the lockstep behavior of people. We were talking about corporations in charge. We were talking about addiction. All of that, in a very naive way, is what these, to make so that it was unmistakable to the audience to put that out. At the end of the day, it becomes corny. After seeing it all in retrospect, during that month when it was all finished, I made a big decision to drop it all. Just throw it out the window. That's not what we were trying to do. So that was a big blow to the budget, to the Angel, to all of the work that we put into it. But for me, my biggest teachers are the mistakes that I make. And this was a big one. But it was a mistake I had to go through to see that that's not what we wanted to do. The Harvard Film Archives is going to take all this material for the films, etc. And when Hayden Guest saw pictures of this, he says, oh, well, there's a movie all in itself. So someone could, I'm not interested, but there's enough footage there for someone to make a hyperly beautiful, corny movie out of all this footage. And I have no one, please, I'm the responsibility for that corn. But I didn't use any of it in the film.